let's start with your guys because you guys we actually got to watch the full game of yours. Because your team started off 10 a.m. Sunday morning, local time for us, because you were playing in New England, and your boys held on. You got the W. Um, a little bit, not exactly the highest scoring affair. But let's talk about what you saw. What'd you like? What leaves you concerned? What'd you think of the game?
Vince, the Raiders pull out a huge win in Foxborough for the first time in decades. If anybody is out there in the chat, and this is to you, Vince, as well, can you name the last head coach and quarterback combination to go into Foxborough and win on the road against New England?
Um, in New England and win for the Raiders.
Give me the head coach and the
The,
quarterback.
the head coach and quarterback. Oh geez. I'm gonna go really old school. Ooh. Um. Was it Tom Flores and freaking I got who even was his quarterback when he was
It
coach? I don't
was
know
it was
who was it.
you're not far off. It
Hmm.
was decades ago.
Yeah.
Art Shell and Jeff Hostetler.
Okay. Okay.
Holy
Okay.
moly.
Okay.
What a oof. Dude, it's been a while. So all right. The Raiders pull off a wonderful week 1 victory. Something that, as I said last week, I think the Raiders are going to be competing for a wild card spot, and you desperately needed to go up into Foxborough and get the win. They did just that. The opening drive, Vince, results in a touchdown pass from Geno Smith to Trey Tucker. The first half, after that play, the first half, the Raiders struggled a little bit. They go into halftime trailing 7-10, but they make halftime adjustments on both sides of the ball. The third quarter, the Raiders get some action going with Ashton Jeanty, and he powers his way through for a touchdown where he muscled his way in there, and I think that's going to be the first touchdown of many for the young man's career. Speaking about Genty, he didn't have a big time numbers game, so he didn't have a whole lot of yards. And I know people are gonna, complain about that. But I think his game showed up in a lot of other areas. Vince, he was great in the pass blocking game. He was great in being a release valve to Geno Smith and just catching some balls out of the backfield, getting some first downs and getting some yardage out there. So he's going to be a running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield as well. So I think he's going to be a player that's just going to get better and better as the season goes on. As he gets more reps, he's just going to get better because I do believe he's going to be that dude. The Raiders defense in the first half did look really shaky. The middle of the field was open. Drake May was passing the ball really well. The running game was getting some action. But in the second half, things really changed. Pete Carroll made some adjustments defensively. We knew Chip Kelly was going to make some adjustments offensively, and that's exactly what happened. Mad Max started flashing. Koonce started flashing to the player that he was a couple of years ago, and the recently acquired Booker the fourth from Philadelphia, he started to flash. And what I really like about the defensive front of the Raiders, they are all D linemen that have motors. They get after it and they have waves. So all of their defensive linemen, especially in that second half, really wore out that New England offensive line, and they all started to disrupt Drake May's passing, disrupting the pocket. And New England essentially abandoned the running game. I think they rushed the ball like 2 or 3 times in the second half. It was something crazy. My biggest excitement about this win, Vince, it's the adjustments. It's the ability to adjust from the first half to the second half and the mental toughness that Pete Carroll brought to the game and to this team. I think it was on display. There's definitely some things that they need to clean up. The Raiders O line made a lot of mistakes. JPJ, the personal foul stuff, it needs to stop. Like you're already being targeted. Like the referees are looking for you to do these stupid mistakes. You're not a stupid person. Stop making these mistakes. You're hurting the team because he does have the ability to be the guard that Genty lines up behind and just plows through. He's that good of a player. He just needs to clean up these these mental mistakes. For the most part, Gino did have he was able to stand tall and sling it a little bit. And I mean, he went over what I think it was 362 yards or 352 yards or something like that. So he looked really good. And if you give Gino a clean pocket, he's going to have the ability to pick a defense apart. Uh,
Yeah, I have it right here. He's 24 of 34 for 362. He had a TD and a pick. That's a 102.8 passer rating. So yeah, solid game, pretty solid game. Unafraid to sling it. Yeah.
And in a pocket that was kinda messy, he made it happen, and his accuracy was on display. There were some passes where it was like, "No, no, 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 yes, 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 yes," and that was just on, on a rope, and you could see the ability of Geno Smith, and why they went out and got him. I said this when we were up there in Tahoe watching the game, Vince. He's a statistically, he was a top 7 passer statistically. So you put a top 7 passer on this Raiders offense, you add Jeanty, you already have Brock Bowers, you have Jacoby Myers, who's Mr. Consistent. He doesn't drop anything. He doesn't have the blazing over the top speed, but anything that is near him, he catches. So you have a bunch of players that are really consistent on this offense and have the ability. And that's what Geno Smith did. He spread the ball. Mike Mayer got involved. Trey Tucker got involved. Jeanty caught a couple passes. The rookie Mike Betch caught a couple
Jack
balls.
Betch, yeah.
So, Jack Beach got a couple
Yeah.
balls. So the ball was all over. It was being spread around. They were moving the chains. Chip Kelly deserves a lot of credit for making these adjustments and putting together a modern offense. Look at on the other side of the ball in New England. Josh McDaniels still couldn't make any adjustments. He just kept doing what he wanted to do
Mhm.
rather than adjusting his game plan. He just kept doing what didn't work. And
Right.
that's what we saw when he was the Raiders coach. That's what we saw when he was the Denver coach. And I think that's what New England's offense is going to be. I think New England's offense is going to look terrible just because of Josh McDaniels. It's not because Drake May and some of their players stink. I definitely think they need more talent, but they're going to be held back because of Josh McDaniels. I don't think he's really that good, especially when I've seen him here with the Raiders in zero adjustments. But overall, Vince, in closing, it was just really great to see a win on the road at the 10 o'clock spot, where historically the Raiders just soil themselves. At some point, I was just like, oh my God, please, please don't do this. Not on week one, and they hold it together. So that's been my biggest thing is they made the halftime adjustments. They come out, they're pros, the excitement, the energy, the competition. And it just really reinforced what I've been seeing in the offseason and what I've been hearing from the beat reporters and things like that is that this team is a totally different team. They're a totally different animal. This is not the same old Raiders. I don't think they have elite talent to get to a Super Bowl, but I think they're a team that's going to be sneaky good. They're going to be really physical. They're going to show up and want to have a rock fight. And those teams are dangerous because they want to punch people in the mouth. They want to get punched in the mouth. That's what Pete Carroll's about. And it just gives me reassurances that they are going to compete in the AFC West and compete for that wild card spot as I predicted. So I'm fired up, baby. That's all I
uh,
got. I'm fired up.
Yeah, when I look at the team stats, just comparing the two teams, overall, your time of possession, the Raiders had 29 minutes and 55 seconds compared to 30 minutes and 5 seconds for the Patriots. So basically dead even.
Yep.
Turnovers were one apiece. But when you look at like the counting stats, the basic difference was the difference in the score. The Raiders had one extra drive that went for a touchdown, and when you look at it, total yards, the Raiders had 389 to 336 for the Patriots. You're talking about, 65 yards, and that's starting. That's basically one extra full length of the field drive starting from the 30 from your own 35. And you had three extra first downs. than the Patriots. Like those, that's the difference between the game, right? You have one more successful drive. And it's, getting the job done.